there, you're watching Picture Book Club, where we tell you the story behind the story. My name's Steve Anthony, and I'm here in my local library, along with Teddy, and for each episode, I'm going to help Teddy to choose a picture book for us to look at. For this episode, I'm going to choose a beautiful book called The Bear and the Piano, written and illustrated by David Litchfield. He also wrote and illustrated Lights on Cotton Rock, along with lots of other brilliant books. We were lucky enough to visit David in his studio and hear about what inspires him, and we even got to see the very first drawing of David's bear from The Bear and the Piano. So take a seat and turn the page.
The Bear and the Piano was my first ever book, so I'd never made a book before The Bear and the Piano. So it was all hugely exciting, kind of going through that process. Anyway, one night, a few years ago now, I was like on my sofa, and I think my wife was watching something really very boring on TV. And I was just drawing in my sketchbook, not really thinking about what I was drawing. And I just started doodling, and I drew this. I drew this picture of like a really scruffy, sketchy looking picture of a bear playing a piano. And then after I finished it, I looked at it and I was like, oh, that's quite interesting. You don't usually see a bear playing the piano. And then I started thinking about like the story behind this drawing, like how did this bear learn to play the piano? What kind of adventures did it go on? All those kind of things. So from that one sketch came this whole book idea. Which is crazy, really, because this book's kind of gone all around the world, and you know, boys and girls are reading it in England, obviously, but also in like France and America and China and Japan and all these kind of amazing places, and it all is because of this one sketch. So it kind of showed to me like ideas can kind of come from anywhere, really, and it's important to kind of record those ideas. Whether you like drawing, you can kind of sketch them down, or whether you've got a notepad that you can kind of write the idea down, and just see where they take you. Really. One thing I find with writing picture books is how much of the image is kind of doing the work and kind of communicating the story, and how much is the words doing the work. And for me, as an illustrator, the preference is always to kind of get the image to do a lot of the talking. So yeah, the writing for me is generally the last part. Once I've got the kind of images just about planned, I will then plan out the whole structure of the book. Now, most picture books, not all, but most, are 16 spreads in length. So here's, again, a very simple yet scruffy way of planning it out is I will draw 16 boxes, divide them each into two, and then plan out what I need to colour on each of those pages. And then, yeah, once I've got the kind of structure, I can then start putting together the images. I will scan them into my computer and then start working on them in a bit more detail and kind of fleshing them out a little bit more from these kind of, or how I draw the bear from The Bear and the Piano. Watching the films of like Steven Spielberg and George Lucas, and just loving kind of science fiction films like E.T. and Star Wars, obviously, and Close Encounters of the Third Kind. All these great films that, you know, were about when I was young. These are just so kind of, you know, so powerful, especially something like E.T., which is just all about friendship and kind of longing and, you know, just kind of, but also about kind of family and where you're from. And I really wanted to capture some of that in Lights on Cotton Rock. So the story is about a young girl called Heather, who, for whatever reason, we don't really find out why, she runs away from home, and she has this kind of thought that she wants to travel into space and escape planet Earth. Amazingly, a UFO comes down. But the rest of the book is about Heather throughout her life, kind of wanting the alien to come back and wanting her to be taken away in kind of these moments throughout her life when maybe she's kind of feeling a bit sad, or maybe she's feeling a little bit alone. And yeah, it's basically, I wanted to try and capture some of that kind of, you know, the feeling that sometimes what we have around us, what we have on planet Earth, we need to notice the kind of beauty of that, and notice the kind of value in what we have around us. Very easy to take all that for granted, and I just wanted to tell a story that kind of conveyed that kind of feeling, I guess. Okay, so this is how I draw the alien from Lights and Cotton Rock. Some of the sketches for the exhibition that I'm doing. In fact, this will be up in the Discover Centre exhibition, all about fairy tales, in February. The story's been written by Ross Montgomery, and it's going to be great. You'll be able to walk through and kind of take part in it and get involved in the story and kind of interact with the characters.
Wow, thank you, David, for letting us into your studio. That was really inspiring. And here at Picture Book Club, we'd like to know what books you're interested in and what sort of book adventures you've been on. So please do feel free to leave comments below, and don't forget to subscribe. So that's all for now. Thank you for watching. Bye.